Okay. I'm live streaming now, so to see my screen, which is not a bad idea, go to YouTube, type in .org games, go to uploads, and then you can see exactly what's on my screen. But cheap. Who's playing the Minecraft? I actually want it back on. So you're our mood music for today. It's actually good because I played the live stream. So I'll just have you do it now a little bit. Keep it up for
Hello, what's up? I'm usually not sure. Hey, why don't you say your keyboards to your mouth? So like, why don't you say? You play me so. Bro, I slapped hella people now. Fucking double pump. I'm the best.
Alright. So, everybody, quiet down, quiet down. Quiet down, please. Okay. Okay, so, hey, quiet down. Listen up, guys. So what we're going to do is, right here, you're in the front of Unreal. Some of you have seen it. This is like a shooting game and stuff. We're going to use the shooting mechanic as a way of mining blocks eventually. So when you shoot the blocks, they get mined. But the very first thing I want to do is we're going to make a blueprint for our block. And on that blueprint is going to be all the code that determines whether that block is made of lava or stone or wood or water or whatever. And it's only going to be one blueprint, but it'll be used to create all the blocks in our world. So what I'd like you to do, perfect timing, go ahead and take a seat so you follow along. With the very first step is in this lower left button. I want you to click the green Add New button. And then in the menu that comes up, I want you to select Blueprint Class. Right there, it says Blueprint Class. And then I want you to choose Actor. I will say that instruction one more time. You are clicking the green Add New button in the lower left, the content browser. Then I want you to choose Blueprint Class and then Actor. Okay. And then it's going to ask you, well, what do you want to name this new blueprint you're making? And we're going to name it BP_block. We name it BP for blueprint. That's why we do that. BP_block.
We name it?
You name it BP_block. And then double click it to open it up.
There. Double click it?
Yeah, double click to open up, yes. Okay. All right. Once you've double clicked it, you should be in a blueprint menu, just like my screen right here. And if it comes up small, of course, we always drag our tab up, so we have a full menu to work with. And what I want you to do now is, our blueprint is blank. We need to add a static mesh that's going to be the 3D object of our block. So, one second. In the upper left here, hit Add Component, and then choose Static Mesh. Add Component, Static Mesh. Now in the static mesh, nothing's going to come up because you haven't selected what it looks like. So with static mesh selected, in the details panel on the right, look where it says static mesh, it says none. Click the drop down and find cube. It's actually the top option. 1F cube. I'll explain it. Oh, this is not right. Alright, I'm going to do what I just said on the board and explain it one more time. So, listen up. So I've added a static mesh in my components tab. Now with the details panel of that static mesh, I look, it says static mesh, but it says none, right? I just want to click that drop down that says none and choose, well, what's the shape of the static mesh? It's real easy. You want to find the one that says 1m_cube. You could either type in cube. Actually, for me, it's the very top. So you just click that top one. It gives us a cube. We're in the blueprint graph, so I'll take a look. It looks like you guys are on. No, it's okay. You have it. That's the wrong one. Yours is right. You static mesh.
I still have like 4 Finally get the first stage. Now the second stage is hard.
All right. Drop down. The skeletal mesh, not static mesh. So delete the skeletal mesh and maybe add a static mesh. Right. So skeletal meshes are for skeletons.
Okay, we'll make it like Kevin. Oh, Kevin cute. Bro, I'm not good at the second stage. I'm not really used to it, so. What do you guys do actually? Just attacking the bad times. We all love Megalomania. What about Megalomania? Don't say Megalomania. I will call it whatever I want. But what about Mogulamania? What about Mogulamania? Let's just go to like the second mile, bro.
Oh, it froze. Okay. All right. So listen up. Static mesh right here. Okay. For fun, let's make this look more like a Minecraft block. So let's change the material. So in details right here, where it says materials, click the drop down and type in the word rust. Why rust? Well, actually, the rust looks exactly like the dirt in Minecraft, so we'll do rust.
Metal rust, right?
Yeah, metal rust. Looks great. Just changing material.
Because you didn't put it in. How about Yay! How can the sun go around what's that girl that you're talking about? Is that it then? Yeah, normal. That's just like
Awesome.
it's enter. Arrow key.
Oh, yeah, you've never done this like. Oh. Add starter. All right, moving on.
Oh, I should make the file for that. When your heart is blue, it's like gravity.
Okay, guys, listen up. Once you've done that, let's go to the front of Unreal. And what I want you to do is to drag this blueprint block into your world a few times. So we'll have several of them. Oh, but before we do that, I'm sorry. One really important step, and this is something that you kind of know how to do, is we need to put it on a grid, right? Remember I showed you, when we talked about Unreal the first time, I talked about grid snapping, where you can make objects kind of move every certain number of centimeters or feet or whatever. What we want to do is we want to do that with Minecraft, because in Minecraft, all the blocks are always perfectly next to each other. There's no gap ever between blocks, right? And they never overlap too far. They're always exactly next to each other. So in order to do that, as we design a little bit of our Minecraft world, make sure that this number, the grid, is set to 100. It's probably set to 10 right now by default. You want to change that number 10 and change it to 100.
1,000.
No, not just 100. And what you want to do is, once you've done that, drag these blocks out next to each other, and they'll snap perfectly next to each other. Just like in Minecraft.
Oh, shoot!
So I'll repeat one more time. So in the upper, we're in the front of Unreal now, so we're not looking at our blueprint. So go to the front of Unreal where you can see your level, okay? Like me. So you're in the front of Unreal, and in the upper right, you have all those toolbars. You want to change that first number 10, you want to change it to 100. That way it snaps.
Can we delete the other blocks that are here?
No, block size stays the same.
I need help.
She can show you.
Well, okay, hold up. We're talking about Minecraft. I got a good idea.
No, they're snapping together. You can delete the old ones from before you change to the new grid.
I want to PC so badly.
Yeah, so go ahead and
trying to build me a fort. Is there this music okay for talking about Minecraft?
Cool, man.
How do I back up to the tree? So, obviously,
Perfect, another choice. I forgot. This is a Minecraft game.
No, but how does one back out of the place?
Oh shit.
Get over here. No. Oh, you Russian? Hey, Jonathan, go to the music tab. Let me see what you put up on that.
Wait, are they gonna involve the money?
I think so. Oh, no. This is like the crabs, bro. It's not so bad.
No, they should involve the double bear.
I like double.
all right, so you're dragging these into your world.
It would be awesome too. Since they banned double crop, like,
Bro, I'm your
what's
best
the
friend.
ban your essence line?
And then you call me trash.
Yeah. What I want you to do now is, in the front of Unreal, stay in the front of Unreal, and click the green Add New button again.
What?
What's up? You're not quiet in class? I don't want to hear any more distractions.
Add new? Bro, you know that's good, man.
Hit Add New. And what we're going to do is go into a category called, it's actually called Blueprints. Category called Blueprints. You hear me yelling. We're actually going to go for something called Enumeration. Right? Enumeration, and click that. Click the Enumeration, yeah. I'll say the instruction again. Click the Add New button. Go to this category called, not Blueprint Class, category called Blueprints, the bottom there. And then choose Enumeration.
That's
Yeah.
a big long word. I like it.
It's a long, scary word for the simplest thing in Unreal. It's, you know, what's an enumeration?
A list.
Literally a list.
Oh.
You're right. How'd you know that? It is. It's literally just a list. That's all it is. Just a list. And why do we want a list? Well, we're going to make a list of all of the types of blocks we can have. So we're going to have, you know, where to put dirt and grass and stone and water, things like that. Cobblestone. Okay. So once you've made that enumeration, just make sure you name it. Name it block type. Yeah, no spaces. Name it block type or types. And then double click it.
What do we name it?
Block types. Block types, yep. And then double click it, and you're going to get this really empty looking window. Because again, it's very simple. It's just a list. Just a list. So once you've done block types, and you've double clicked it, on the right here there's a new button. That's how you add things. So if you click new, you'll be adding items to your list, right? But I'm going to hit the X on these because I only want 4. I only want you to have 4. So we're just going to have 4 items in our list. And you can add to this later, by the way, as we do more block types. And on that first, listen up, on that first item, I want you to name it dirt. Name it dirt. The second one, I want you to name grass. Third one, stone. And the last one will have to be water. Dirt, guys, dirt, grass. So you can delete this part. Just highlight all that. You want dirt is the first part of your list, grass, and then I would name the third one stone, and the last one water. What we'll do is we'll need to set these. We'll be able to change things about the block depending on which one of these it is. So if it's a dirt block from our list, it'll behave like a dirt block. If it's a lava block, it'll behave like a lava block. That's why we're making a list like this. Yeah, dirt, grass, stone, water. And guys, once you've done that, go ahead and hit save. And then you can click out of that. We're done with the list. You can exit out of that. And what I want you to do then is I want you to go back to our block. Go back to our blueprint block. Okay. Okay. And once you're back on your blueprint block like this, we're going to go to the lower left here in the section called Variables. And I want you to click the plus icon because we're adding a new variable. So the little plus icon, click it, and our new variable is going to be called type, T-Y-P-E. In the lower left, a little section called Variables. There's a plus icon. That's how you add a new variable. It's a Boolean right now. We're going to change that because we don't want a Boolean. So we're going to change that. That's actually going to be your next step. So I'll just repeat the instructions we just did. We're in our blueprint block. We're in our blueprint. Lower left, little section called Variables. When you go to Variables, little plus icon, you click it, and it adds a new variable. Then it asks you what the name of that variable should be, and the name is going to be type. No, one variable, that's it. And once you've done that, the next step is this. On your details panel, where it says variable type, right under name, change the variable type from Boolean, so click that Boolean, and I want you to look up the name of our list. Now that we've... Yeah, it's going to be in a section called enum for enumeration, right? And it's called block type, and you're going to change it to block type. Yep. So the variable type is now going to be called the name of our list, block type. So our variable is now our list. Yeah. The word block type. Yep.
Mine doesn't pop up
So
for me.
put that one. Don't give me the time. Just search it up.
Block type or block type?
Name of your list. Whatever you name this. Here's the block type.
What is going on? I'm so confused.
Yeah. So, it's so it's some really weird name here, right? So you want to rename that. I'm gonna name my list right there.
Well, did you notice it's
Okay. So what I want you to do is hit the compile button on the left. Hit compile. And once you do that, it's a little gear icon. You'll be able to see in the details panel, you'll be able to see all the different types. So if you could hit compile, all of a sudden your default value is dirt, and you can see the rest of your list here. Yeah. Okay? So we're going to move on.
It's this one, right?
The very next part.
It says block type.
Yep, that's it. You got it. Okay. Our next step, guys, is we're going to go to part of the blueprint I haven't showed you before. Right? We've done stuff with the event graph, we've done stuff with the viewport, but then there's a thing called construction script, right? Go to construction script. We're doing construction script. Where do you go to? So it's 3 tabs. You have viewport, construction script, event graph. We're going to the construction script.
Type it here.
Yeah, construction. It's a tab right there.
This one.
Wait, where's the?
Oh, it's actually not.
Butt cheeks.
I'll show you up here. Okay, so look. If I click this construction script, it's going to look like a graph. It basically, guys, this is the same as the event graph. Nothing new, nothing crazy, except the construction script is for stuff that happens before the game ever happens. So you'll see these changes happen in the editor while you're designing. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, we can make doom
No.
pull your trash. How's doom trash?
Maybe.
The tricky thing is that you gotta always be able to can't really get
Are you playing what I think you're playing? How many times have you lost that fight?
5 now. All right. So, listen up. James, hood off. Thank you very much. Anybody else the hoods, make sure they're off. So, what we're gonna do now? Look up. We're gonna drag our variable type onto our graph. Right in front of the thing that says construction script. Go ahead and do that. Drag type, and you're gonna do get. Do get. Drag type. You get. Drag off of type now, and then type in the word switch, and choose the only option that comes up. Switch on block type.
Wait, what?
Get type or set? Get. So you drag type variable, you drag that variable you made onto the graph, choose get, and then drag off of that and choose switch. Type of switch.
Get or set?
Switch.
No, we don't talk about
Switch.
Get type or?
Yeah, until I told you twice.
Wait, that's what I did. Oh, okay.
Well, we're gonna connect that into that. All right.
So hard.
And then grab there, type switch. Cheater, yes. We're saying collision. Sorry. Yeah. And
Wait. Wait, you don't water fix it against
get.
I really know all those strings, all that, all like the pieces, like water against. Wait, more powerful water.
All right.
Water type isn't more powerful.
Okay. All right, guys, listen up. We have 10 minutes, but we're going to move on so that we can get something that is actually working, okay? So, listen up. You can if you want. So, as you can see kind of already, this switch basically gives us code depending on what item in our list is selected, right? So we can have code on the dirt channel, we can have code on the grass channel, and the stone channel, etc. So go ahead and connect this construction script to the front of the switch, like that. And then, what we're going to do for the dirt code is all we're going to do is we're going to set our static mesh to be the material that looks like dirt. And we're going to set that material for each item on the list depending on what that item is supposed to look like. So, I want you to drag your static mesh onto your graph, and then drag off the static mesh and type in set material. And you're going to choose the option that says set material. Yep. Okay. You're dragging static mesh onto the graph. You're dragging off a static mesh, and you're typing in set material. And set material is pretty straightforward. It's just changing, well, what's the material you want wrapped around this static mesh? So in this bottom part, it says material. It's a drop down. It says select asset. I want you to choose the rust asset. So type in rust. So on that set material node, at the very bottom, it says material. What material do you want to set your object to? Click the drop down and choose rust.
Wait.
Okay. So once you've done that, it's pretty simple from this point on. We're just going to copy and paste this and paste it for the next 3 items in the list. So what that looks like is if I left click and drag a box over here, right? Both of these highlight. Shh, too much talking, just listen. So I drag over there, Command C, Command V. And I'm actually going to stack these kind of on top of each other. It's going to work better. Like this. Right? So it's going to work better. The only difference is for the grass channel, I'm going to set the material to the grass material. So I just copied and pasted, and then I'm just going to change it, and then do that for stone. And there's a bunch of options you can use for stone. There's cobblestone that you have in there, sandstone. I'm going to do cobblestone. And then for the last one, water, copy, paste, right? And the material there, I'm going to set that to just lake water. Type in water, lake. Okay. So, and then to make sure that those wires are going into each of these. Okay. Yeah. If you drag off of your static mesh and then type in the word set, and then space material. So once you've done that, there's one more step I need you to do. Go ahead and do this even if you're still doing the other stuff, because I want you to get this ready. Is remember a variable called type? It's in the lower left. Look at it. There's a little like square thing. It looks like a closed eyeball, right? And if you click on that, it's going to turn into an open eyeball. Right with your variable right there. So you click the open eyeball. I want you to make it so it's an open eyeball. That way we can change it in our level design. You'll see what I mean in a second. Okay? So just find your variable type in the lower left and just click the eyeball icon so instead of being closed, it's open.
You compile it, right?
And then you compile it. So what the last step is to hit compile. And then, here's the cool part.
We have to see the eye?
Yes, you have to see the eye open.
Okay, I see it.
Okay, now go to the front of Unreal if you've done that. And click on any of your blocks. And once you click on a block, look in your details panel and voila. You have your setting there called type, and it says dirt by default. And watch, if I change dirt to grass, the block changes as well. I would change it to stone, water. So if you've done that correctly, when you click on a block, you should be able to see in its details panel your variable, right? And if you've done that, go ahead and decorate your world a little bit and change your block. Okay, a lot of questions. I saw yours first, so I'm going to go like this.
Okay. So,
Eyeball. What? Yeah. Compile. Yeah, you compile. You can. Yeah, there you can try it. Use the materials. And whatever you want. Grass. Hold on. Yeah. To rust, grass, whatever you want, stone, water. See where it says drop down materials? Like that's dirt by default. And watch, if I change dirt to grass, once you've done that, the eyeball icon.
Bro, where's your shadows?
So you can. Jump on. Do whatever you want. If it's
Wait, is it supposed to be open or closed? Why does it only go slash? Since there was
Water.
you broke it. Oh, yeah. Try to take this.
You are. I'm gonna make a little hot tub.
My brain is not capable. Makes no sense. Open No!
Well, wait, don't get another call line. I got her. I don't know why, but it doesn't really work. Using dirt. Yeah, give it dirt pass. Alright, Johnny. Instead of using
Well, yeah, now this should be up now. All right, I think that's it for class 12:57. So go ahead and click save.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
iPad is no.
Yo, what the heck?
Bro, I don't sleep.